scorpion check is just what it sounds like. It's basically before you move into an area, you have to deal with the critters that are there before you. They're largely nocturnal. They hunt at night when you're sleeping. So if you leave a bunch of bedding out or doodads around, they can scurry in there and sting you. That's what they do.
So the scorpions come out at night, right?
Yeah, there is a rattlesnake out there. I ran across it as I was looking for a shelter spot. And, you know, it lets you know it's there. It let me know it was there about 15 feet away. And just
so you heard it first?
Yeah, heard it first, and now there's no option. But they do move. That's what they do, is they hunt and they move.
Yeah.
So there is a potential that he comes up this wash or whatever, but we need to just, now's not the time to, you know, be farting around, you know, looking for too much more stuff other than what's right around this area.
Okay. I noticed the mosquitoes. Like, is there something natural around that we can do to repel those, or are we just dealing with it?
Clothing.
Okay.
The bottom line is desert mosquitoes are aggressive. They'll go in, suck your blood, no questions asked, and get out and go back and feed the kids.
How rude.
So they're not just going to hang around and buzz and be annoying. They're after blood.
In the darkness, the four race to gather grass bedding to insulate their bodies from the ground.
We kind of got caught with our pants down. It's dark. And we do have a full moon, and it should be coming over this way any time in this drainage, but it's dark out. So again, it's dark out, and there's a rattlesnake, you know, 100, 150 feet away that we know of. You know, it's not just a theory. So if we can get some dry vegetation, what we're looking for is an insulative base. We're not just doing it for comfort and yucks and for something to do. We're doing it because it's going to hopefully make us more comfortable as far as not losing body heat.
We'll just put the rough part in Chad's side of the bed.
Oh, my hat.
So talking about Chad's bed
So that he will store.
Yeah.
I tell you, getting a lot of bad press out here in the desert.
Did you hear your name again?
I did hear my name again.
Okay.
I think they're doing great. You know, they came out here with minimal daylight, kind of got caught with their pants down in a way, but they found a place to hunker in for the night. But the biggest thing that concerns me over the scorpions, and the snakes, and the wildlife, or whatever, is those dark clouds starting to cover the moon. The impending storm that's moving in.
It's only 9 p.m. and already 30 degrees colder than when they set out. Sunrise is still 10 hours away. It's 7 a.m. They've been wandering for 15 hours now. And for these hikers lost in Arizona's high desert, things are about to go from bad to worse.
Step.
Monsoon season has arrived. The group takes shelter under a tree.
We've just had a bunch of water hit our heads, hence we're all in these garbage bags. It's a temporary break now. What we can do to exploit the water that's fallen so far is go into some of these rock crevices and just drink what we can. It doesn't need to be disinfected. It's good to go. It just fell from the rain. It's good stuff. So let's do this now and exploit the water that we have that's just fallen.
The rain enables them to conserve their scarce water supply.
A little dirt in that one.
Oh my gosh, so good. I learned this from my cat too.
This is priceless stuff. And yeah, it would be nice if we had a drinking tube or whatever, but the mouth works great. Just get down there and slurp it up.
Like, that brings up a good question. Do you want
For now, dying of thirst isn't a threat. Instead, hypothermia from drenched clothing will become their biggest fear.
The rain just poured down, and then the sun, a second later, would come out. Literally, a second later, the sun would come out, and we'd be tearing off our garbage bags. And then we'd do some more walking. And you couldn't leave it on because when the sun came out, it was too hot and you'd bake in that plastic. And so it wasn't even like you'd be like, screw it, I'm leaving the garbage bag on because it's gonna rain in 3 seconds. You had to take it off and keep putting it back on.
In the Southwest, flash floods can rip through a canyon in an instant, especially one as narrow and confined as this one. Cody keeps the group ever vigilant.
Okay, it's coming down pretty heavy. Let's get out of this wash. Come up here on the side. Get out of the water. This is the classic danger scenario. It's raining cats and dogs. It's probably going to get worse. And here we're in this low arroyo. So I've got the students up there out of the drainage in case it does flash flood. Typically we'll hear it, we might smell it, certainly we'll see it, but we want to be out of there so we don't have to worry about it when the time comes. So if it's raining, stay high, stay high.
They've been hammered by drenching rain and simmering heat since morning. With each step, they've become increasingly and unknowingly disoriented.
So I have to ask the question. We have some water here and we're good to go for now. On the count of 3, I'd like you to point in the direction where you think we came from. 1, 2, 3.
That way.
So we've got 2 over there, 3 over there, and 1 behind us. Which way is correct? Do you have any idea? Are you lost?
Not really. I'd say we're lost.
We're definitely lost.
I feel lost.
Yes.
We're lost.
So you couldn't make it. If I turned you loose and say, hey, wherever we started on this day hike, let's go back. Could you take me back right now?
Well, now hold on. We could follow the canyon back.
We've been following the canyon what way?
Downhill.
But when you start heading up,
Okay, so if you follow the canyon up and it starts to finger and break off, do you know which way is the way that you came down? Because gravity's not your friend anymore. And you remember we ran into more than one area if you were paying attention, where there was a side canyon here, side canyon over there. We only stopped and talked about one of them. But frankly, it's a lot different going back.
They're less than 2 miles from their car. They haven't even been out an entire day. Yet 2, Chad, Linda, and Aaron, are now officially and hopelessly lost in Arizona's high desert. Two, Chad, Linda, and Aaron have been lost in Arizona's high desert for 21 hours now. The sun's out. Temperatures are climbing back toward 90 degrees. And the puddles left by the desert monsoons have disappeared. On the move, they're each losing about a quart of water an hour.
They're good, but they're dangerous. Ugh.
A sunny moment gives the group time to learn how to harvest fruit from the prickly pear cactus.
Just tap it on this rock, and you can see little blades pop right off the top, right?
Cody teaches them a tool-making technique that dates back more than 2 million
There's
years.
one. And that's perfectly good for opening up a cactus fruit.
Search and rescue doctrine normally says lost people should stay put. But in desert survival, this rule is often one that must be broken.
In the situation where you're without water, you believe you can find it, like dropping into a canyon or going into an area of a drainage, that's a pretty reasonable thing to do.
Stuff's been blown over.
24 hours after making the decision to follow the canyon, the narrow trail opens up into a low floodplain.
Hey guys, there's water. There's totally water.
There's water. I knew it.
Good ears.
I
Good
knew I heard it.
Good stuff.
I knew I heard it. Look at this.
So congratulations, folks. So you found water in the high desert. It's kind of a big deal, huh?
yeah.
So you got a major need met, at least as far as the wet stuff flowing over the ground. How to drink it without barfing up the lungs, a whole nother thing. We got to be able to disinfect this. This is not rainfall. Spend some light now and find your shelter spot, because the few minutes and hours you spend now will determine the fate of your night overall, right?
Again, they choose the shelter of a nearby juniper tree. Night 2 falls cold and fast.
Seeing as how we're getting lower and lower on energy, we're basically out of food. So we'll see what plan B is when you wake up in the morning, but hopefully whenever you can grab some shut-eye, get it. Because typically it's going to get cooler and cooler and cooler, and it's coldest before the dawn approximately. So about 3 or 4 in the morning you might be freezing your ass off.
Okay.
Now then you just go back to plan B of doing some exercises to raise the metabolic heat or whatever it takes and just get through it.
None of us slept really, and if we did, it was 5 or 10 minutes at a time, just because our bodies just, tried so hard to sleep.